All right, let's get into one of literature's most fascinating and, honestly, bizarre stories. We're about to uncover a guy whose words you hear all the time, but whose name you probably have no idea how to pronounce.
You know this line, right? Of course you do. It's the ultimate cliche. It's the sentence Snoopy is always typing away on his doghouse. It's become a literal joke, the gold standard for how not to start a story.
And then there's this. This one feels completely different. It's deep, it's powerful, it's a timeless truth about the power of ideas. It sounds like something Shakespeare or some ancient philosopher would have come up with. So what if I told you, get ready for this, that the person who wrote the most famously bad opening line in literary history is the exact same person who gave us one of the most respected proverbs in the English language? Yep, his name was Edward Bulwer-Lytton, and his story is just a wild ride through fame, power, the occult, and the strange, often unfair way history decides who becomes a hero and who becomes a punchline. So first, let's just wrap our heads around how huge this guy was in his own time, because we're not just talking about some successful author. In the Victorian era, Bulwer-Lytton was an absolute superstar. I mean, just look at this. The contrast is just staggering, right? Back in the 1860s, he was a literary giant, a best-selling author everyone read, a seriously respected politician, and today, if he's known at all, it's as that dark and stormy night guy. It's a jaw-dropping fall from grace. And this timeline, wow, it shows he was playing life on expert mode. Think about it. He was running two massive careers at the absolute highest level at the same time. While he's publishing international bestsellers, he's also a government minister, literally founding colonies like British Columbia. His influence was so insane that in 1862, he was offered the freaking throne of Greece and he just casually turned it down. It all ends with his burial in Westminster Abbey, which is basically the ultimate hall of fame for an English writer. But okay, that's just the political side. His literary career was a whole other universe of achievement. The guy wasn't just prolific, his range was unbelievable. And that's the key thing here. He wasn't just following the trends of the day, he was setting them. He was this restless innovator, always experimenting with new kinds of stories, and in the process, he helped invent entire genres that we're still obsessed with. And just look at this list. He started with witty high society comedies. Then boom, he helps create the modern crime novel. Then he writes this massive historical blockbuster, The Last Days of Pompeii. And just when you think you've got him figured out, he pivots and dives headfirst into occult fantasy and then writes one of the very first science fiction novels. The sheer versatility is just astounding. So if most of his books are unread now, what's left? What did he actually leave behind besides that one goofy sentence? Well, this is where his influence gets kind of sneaky, because it's baked right into our world, hiding in plain sight. Yeah, his fingerprints are all over the way we talk. We already know about the pen is mightier than the sword, but did you have any idea he also coined the great unwashed or the pursuit of the almighty dollar? These are phrases that are just part of our culture, and they all came from him. But it gets weirder than just common sayings. He also invented entire concepts that just escaped from his books and took on a life of their own. For example, in his sci-fi novel, he dreamed up this hidden race of super beings living underground who were powered by this incredible energy force called Vril. And here is the truly crazy part. Vril didn't just stay a fictional idea. Real-world groups totally ran with it. The Theosophical societies started talking about it like it was a real spiritual force. It became a huge inspiration for German occult groups, and it became a standard trope in pulp science fiction. A fictional idea literally jumped the fence into reality. And he did it again. In another book, he created this terrifying concept called the Dweller on the Threshold, a spooky, spectral monster you have to confront to gain secret mystical knowledge. That idea became a fundamental part of Western esotericism and is still a popular trope in fantasy and spiritual circles today. Okay, so let's bring it all back. We have a major politician, a literary innovator, a wordsmith who shaped our language. So what on earth happened? How does a guy with that resume go from being a superstar to a footnote? This chart really nails the paradox of his legacy. The very style that made him a sensation in his own time, this grand, elaborate, super theatrical way of writing, was later seen as just artificial and way too over the top. Literary tastes changed, and he fell out of fashion, hard. And eventually, his entire, diverse, genre-defining career was flattened down and remembered for just one single thing.
And here it is, the final, beautiful irony. Today, his name is most famous because of the Bulwer-Lytton Fiction Contest, an annual competition to write the most comically awful opening sentence you can possibly imagine. He has literally become the poster boy for bad writing.
In the end, Edward Bulwer-Lytton accomplished more than most people could ever dream of, and yet, history played this very strange joke on him. Which leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. Is it better to be remembered for all the wrong reasons, or to not be remembered at all?